right. Oh, my voice works automatically as soon as I start stream. This has never happened before. What's up, watchers? Welcome back to another Wednesday stream. It's gonna be the last one for a bit. It's good to see you guys again. Good to see you, Val. Welcome. Bad, more like rad, am I right, chat? Yeah, if rad stands for, really awful day for Okabe. Because, yeah, man was not having a good time last stream. To recap, admittedly it has been a couple of weeks, because I think I ended up canceling my Wednesday stream last week. I think the week before I did one, though. Yeah, it's been a little bit since I played Steins, actually. But what I remember most is, so Suzuha had the battle with a brainwashed Kagari. What the hell is up with that? Yuki and Daru went on a date, and, Suzuha and Daru both inadvertently fucked it up. So that's not great. But this is the bad ending, so, you know, maybe in another timeline it goes better. For some reason. Who knows? Butterfly effect and all that. Yeah, and then at the very end, turns out Dr. Leskinen is fucking evil. I mean, I think we kind of knew that last time. Like, I think that it was revealed that he was in on the conspiracy. But, yeah, Okabe certainly didn't know that. And, yeah, he got, and now he's zip-tied to a chair, and he's gonna get tortured for information. And he knows damn well that he's not supposed to die until 2025, and it's 2011, so that means he has 14 years of fucking torture ahead of him. No fucking wonder his body was just a goddamn husk before. Most doctors in anime video games are evil. You're right. And it's like, even some of the ones that, like, aren't actually evil anymore used to be evil. Yeah, 2025, that's now. This is the year that Okabe canonically dies. Although, not really. We found that out in the last timeline, where it's like, yeah, everybody just thought that you were dead. Turns out now your body, like, technically, like, your personality died in 2025. Like, your body's kind of just been a husk on life support since then. But yeah, your body still exists in, 2036, so, welcome to the future, Okabe. It fucking sucks! Like Sephiroth, I'm just gonna nod my head, because admittedly, I don't know fuck from shit when it comes to Final Fantasy, outside of the stuff that you've, like, told me directly. I should really just go and watch, like, your stream VODs for Final Fantasy VII. Yeah, that was the one that you played. I know you also played Final Fantasy 16, which is the one where you can get pussy and or cock. Famously well known. Yeah, I've gotta just watch more games in general. Like, I would say play them. But I know myself. I have games that I bought in, like, 2017 that I still haven't played yet. It's been almost 10 fucking years! I already own the games! I simply have a disease. It's called being stupid. Unfortunately, it is terminal. Sorry, my neighbor dropped off my package. I missed the last minute, but yes, play Final Fantasy. Like I said, I will not play it. I'll probably just end up watching, like, probably one of your VODs of you playing it. Because, like, I don't know who else I would watch a playthrough of. I know that you've been posting about, like, Snapcube's playthroughs in, like, our friend Discord. But, I don't know. I feel like those would end up... I mean, I guess I could just watch the whole streams. That is a possibility. I'll see. Also, I'm glad that your neighbor dropped off your package. My playthrough is fun if you like screaming. Well, I'm sold. But yeah, for anyone who, has... I mean, I don't know if you've actually told anyone outside of, like, our friend group chats about your fucking package debacle. But to summarize for anyone who is not in the loop on that situation, basically, Val got a package in. her neighbors were like, oh, to make sure someone doesn't steal it, we're gonna keep it at our place. Yeah, your package was held hostage because they decided to do that, and then they kind of just fucked off for the rest of the day. And then they knocked on Val's door, like, I think it was sometime this morning, right? And by the time she got to the door to answer it, the neighbor was already gone and had not left the package. So, yeah, she's been waiting like an extra 24 hours to get this package because her neighbors decided to hold it hostage for no reason. Yeah, this morning. God. Yeah, people are sprinted. People are fucking wild. I don't want to make this a just chatting section too long, because as mentioned on Blue Sky, I'm pretty tired. I don't know how long this stream is gonna go. And I don't want to spend, like, a third of it just fucking talking. Or at least, like, you know, not playing the fucking video game. Or reading the visual novel, I suppose. You now have dogs red. Hell yeah! I haven't been very active on Discord lately because, admittedly, social battery is goo. It's dissolved. It's gone. I don't know why or how, because I've been doing my best to, like, keep up with it, but I think my brain just went, oh, you decided to have 2 interesting weekends in a row? Not allowed. Not allowed. Go sleep for 7 days straight. I feel like we are now in that time period where people are just tired all day. Yeah, and I wish we fucking weren't. I want energy. I want to do shit. But yeah, I had a very interesting experience today with people as well. So, okay. As mentioned in the past, I'm now a delivery driver for the lab division of the Weaver Foundation. And it's fun, it's cool. I go to a bunch of places, and today I was asked to go to an office building, and I was told, yep, just show up there, go inside, pick up the sample, and come back to the lab. And it's like, okay, cool, I can totally do that. So, I go there, I park the van, I leave the company phone and my phone in the van. Because I'm like, oh, I'm not going to be in there that long. I'm not going to need these. They don't get stolen, don't worry. That's not where this story is going. So anyways, so before when I've gone to this place, I was told, yeah, go down this hallway. There's like this kitchen at the back. Knock on the door. Someone will bring you the samples. So I do that. I go to the kitchen. I knock on the door. No one answers. So I'm like, okay. I wait a little bit, and then I knock again. No one answers. So I'm like, okay. What the fuck do I do then? So I wait a little bit longer, and then I knock on the door. Still doesn't work. At this point, a lady comes out of, like, a nearby door, and it's like, oh, who are you? I'm like, oh, I'm here. I'm with the Weaver Foundation. I was told to come and do a pickup of some samples. And she was like, oh, okay. Let me just talk to someone about that. And so, she goes, down a different hallway. And I'm like, okay, I guess I'll just wait here. So I wait for a couple of minutes. And I'm just kind of awkwardly standing in this place that I do not work at. A different lady comes down the stairs nearby and is like, oh, who are you? And I'm like, oh, I'm the driver for the Weaver Foundation. I'm here to pick up some samples. And she's like, oh, so who sent you? And I was like, oh, and I gave her my, the main office admin lady's name, the one who had asked me to go there. And she just kind of looks at me confused. And I'm like, I don't know what you want me to tell you. And she goes, okay, let me go and ask my manager. And I'm like, all right. So at this point, she goes, I wait for another minute. The first lady shows up again and is like, oh yeah, you're the one from the Weaver Foundation, right? I'm like, yes. I have already told you this. And, she goes, okay, just give me 1 second. And she goes into the kitchen. So I'm like, okay, I'm finally getting my samples. Well, the second lady comes back and is like, okay, well, if you need to speak to the manager, we're gonna, like, send you to this waiting room. Which, by the way, this has never happened before. I have been to this place, like, 4 times to pick up samples. before today. This has never happened. So I'm like, okay. But there was another lady who was going to get me the samples, and she's like, oh, no, don't worry about that. You need to talk to the manager, and you need to sign in, and you need to like, write in this book. And I'm like, okay. What? But I do what she says, because I'm like, okay, well, I don't want to argue. I don't know how this place is run. So I go to the waiting room. I sit down. I fill out the book. The waiting room does not have a clock, and it asks for the time. I make a guess. I say 9:20. I get out to the van later on. I realize it's 10 o'clock, so I was way off the mark. Anyways, I wait there for 5 minutes. And a guy finally shows up. He's like, oh, who are you? And I go, I'm the driver from the Weaver Foundation. I'm here to pick up some samples. And he was like, what samples? And I'm like, the samples that I was told to come here and pick up, I was told that you guys had called us asking for a pickup. I obviously didn't say it like that. I was just like, the samples? The ones that you guys... I was just told to come and pick them up. And he was like, okay. And I was like, yeah, we sent you guys, like, some bottles and stuff. And they're like, oh, the water samples. And I'm like, what fucking other samples? Why is my model doing that? What the fuck? Anyways, I'm like, what other samples are there? Did you think we were collecting soil? So I drive the car. Exactly. So he's like, oh, okay. Wait here for a little bit. And I'm like, all right, man. I wait for like another 5 minutes. And he finally brings me a cooler. And it's like, oh yeah, do you need like ice packs in here, whatever? I'm like, oh yeah, no, that's fine, whatever. I take the cooler. I get the samples back to the lab. As it turns out, I think that when they called us yesterday asking for a pickup, I'm not certain actually. I didn't check the times on this, but judging by how long I waited, I'm like tempted to believe that either they lost the samples somehow, which very hard to do. Like, we're talking probably a cumulative like 2 liters worth of water samples in an office in a Ziploc bag that has the Weaver Foundation logo on it. Either that, or, like I said, I have no confirmation on this. There is a solid chance that they had only taken the samples, once I got there. And once I had spoken to, like, 3 other people about needing samples. So, I get the cooler. I put it in the van. I go back to the lab. As I am bringing the cooler to the lab, I see that it has written on the lid, only give the samples to the driver. Do not take the cooler with you. And I'm like, why did they give me it then? Anyways, so that was my morning, and it's also the reason why I didn't get a morning break today. So, that's fun. Anyways, Steins Gate. we should play Steins Gate. But yeah, it's like the fact that this is the worst that it has been, like, in any of my pickups, I think is pretty good. Because, I mean, the worst that it was at my last job was my boss asked me to break a promise that he made to a cancer patient for him. So, you know, if all I have to deal with is a little bit of, like, back and forth and being kind of, like, dragged from one direction to the next, like, you know what? It's still an upgrade. It's still a flat-out upgrade. Breaks are important. The thing is, it's, sometimes I just don't get the chance. The lab gets busy sometimes, and, yeah, it is a huge upgrade. Like, I'm very happy with my current job. Like, as much as and also it's like, I don't want to slam this, like, office too bad. I know that I got frustrated with them, definitely, but it's like, odds are, like, because I know what samples we're looking for, and I kind of just assume that everyone's in the loop, but I know that that's hard to do with, like, a bigger company. I've mostly worked, like, in like, smaller groups, basically. So, all of those, like, the teams that I've worked on have been very, very small, and this was a large enough office building for my area. So, it could just be, like, there was just a little bit of miscommunication. And, to be honest, it didn't really take that much out of my day. Like I said, all it sacrificed was my 15-minute break in the morning, but I still got my lunch break and my afternoon break. I've had worse days. Hell, I've had worse days at previous jobs, so... Still an upgrade. Anyways, let's watch Okabe get fucking tortured. Actually, I don't know if we're in Okabe's perspective. We might be in Maho's. I don't remember. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. Her head hurt. Okay, we're in Maho mode. Maho knelt down, closed her eyes, and bit her lips to shut out the pain. There was an annoying noise in her head that wouldn't go away. Oh, right! Okay, so the way that Okabe got tortured, or is about to get tortured, Maho is also brainwashed. So, that's great! There was an annoying noise in her head that wouldn't go away. It made the headache worse. No matter how much she covered her ears, she couldn't block it out. She wanted to scream from the pain, but she held it in because she thought it would only make her headache worse. She could hear a voice mixed in with the noise. It was Dr. Leskinen's.
いいかい、マホ。君はどんな手段を使ってでも、リンタロウ・オカベが抱えている秘密を暴くんだ。でないと、彼を殺さなくてはいけなくなる。そんなのは嫌だろ?
You are a bastard man.
君もリンタロウのことを随分と気にかけていたじゃないか。散々私やクリスが煽ったからね。君にその気などなくてもついつい意識してしまうものさ。それが人の心理だ。
Damn. Alright. Two things there. First off, you've been a manipulative bastard this whole time? Second off, this implies that you've got Krisu in on it. And considering that I think that this is one of the, like, smartphone addiction routes, where it's like we've been talking to Kurisu regularly, that's not fucking good.
彼を助ける意味でも、彼の持つ情報を引き出してほしい。そうしたら私は、リンタロウを我が研究室に無条件で迎え入れてあげてもいい。
Oh, you bitch.
彼について知り得たことは、すべて私に報告しなさい。
If you do that, I'm willing to bring into my lab unconditionally. You bastard. Oh, I love it when a character says something that could either be completely innocuous or very, very ominous, because yeah, he sure is bringing Okabe to his lab. He sure is doing it unconditionally. He's just not bringing him there as a scientist.
彼の未来は君の手にかかっていると言ってもいい。
The voice and the noise were extremely unpleasant. She couldn't really understand what the voice was saying. She could hear him speaking, but her brain refused to understand the meaning of the words. But it didn't matter either way. Maho had done something terrible to Okabe Rintaro. She'd sold him out to Dr. Leskinen in Stratford. And the fact that she knew it just made her guilt worse. She wanted to disappear from the world altogether.
Maho-san?
Or her, sorry, I'm reading a book, so I'm half listening. No worries at all. She was on a busy street in Akihabara in early summer. She was leaning on the side of a building in the shade when she heard someone call her name.
やっぱり真帆さんだ。
You are fucking adorable. Look at her hat.
まゆりさん。
She didn't expect to see Mayuri here, so she didn't know how to respond. She just looked back and stared.
具合悪いんですか？大丈夫よ。オカリンを見ませんでしたか？え。
Ugh. Maho went completely still. Mayuri's innocent question reminded her of her own stupidity and cowardice.
どうして？
Her voice was shaking.
オカリン、昨日から連絡つかなくて、お家にも帰ってないし、電話も出ないし、メールや LINE にも返事来ないんです。ダル君は心配しすぎだって言うんだけど、
No!
なんだか
No, you're
胸騒ぎが
worrying
するの
enough.
です。だから今日は学校を早退してこの辺りをずっと探してました。
It was still only July, but it was pretty hot. She'd been wandering around all of Akihabara in this heat? Mayuri Shina was a kind, pure-hearted girl. That was the impression Maho had. She would never betray someone, or get jealous, or let someone use her.
知りたい。
Mayuri leaned forward.
真帆さん、オカリンのこと何か知ってるんですか？もし知ってるなら教えてください。お願いします。
She bowed deeply.
そうか。
And then she realized. And then she wished she hadn't. Mayuri was in love with Rintaro Okabe. A dull pain ran down her temples.
君もリンタロウのことを随分と気にかけていたじゃないか。
She could hear the noise in her head. Just tell Mayuri everything, and then have this innocent girl tell you how horrible you are. Maybe you'll feel better then. The idea raced through Maho's mind. Even as she knew it was wrong, she tried to hold back her headache as she opened her mouth.
ゆうべ、深夜、岡部さんと一緒だったの。そうなんですか。それでオカリンは今どこに？
Maho ignored her question.
岡部さんは昨日、私にこんな話をしてくれたわ。
No.
彼が経験してきた別の世界において、椎名真由里さん、あなたは何度も死んだんですって。
Oh, right. I don't think Okabe specifically told her about that. Oh, God. Everyone is just gonna suffer in this route, I guess. Don't tell her.
何度やっても助けられず、あなたは死に続けた。
You can't tell her this.
その悪夢のようなループから抜け出すために、あなたを救うために。
was like another person was speaking using Maho's mouth.
岡部さんはクリスのことを犠牲にしたんだって。見殺しにしたんだって。そんな話をしてくれた。タイムマシンを作り、クリスをもう一度救おうとすれば、またあの頃に逆戻りしてしまう。
You're hurting her. But the words didn't stop.
岡部さんはそのことをひどく恐れている。あなたを必死で守ろうとしている。ここはあなたを守るために他の多くのものを犠牲にして選択された世界なのよ。あなたは何も知らされていないだろうけど。嘘。そんな。おかり。
Mayuri was too shocked to speak. She looked like she was about to cry at any instant. Suddenly, Mayuri turned around and started to walk away with slumped shoulders. Even from behind her, Maho could tell she was having trouble walking straight. The truth was so cruel that confronting it threatened her very identity. That's how it seemed to Maho. Maho was still in a trance. It felt like there was a fog covering everything she saw. It was all out of focus like a mirage. If someone told her it was a dream, she would easily believe it. The same was true of her own mind. She knew she should feel worse about what she just told Mayuri, but while she realized she'd hurt her, she felt no emotion. That was probably why she was able to say something so awful. And then the phone in her pocket began to vibrate. She looked and saw that it was from Amadeus, from Kurisu. She felt a small, thin needle prick her paralyzed heart. She couldn't answer it. How could she? She stared at the LCD screen, unable to move her fingers even a centimeter. I do like that Maho has like a different style of phone to Okabe. Like, it's not even just a recolor. She has a fucking Nokia phone or a Wokia phone. She couldn't let Kurisu see her like this. But even so, it felt wrong to just stay here. Maho decided to go after Mayuri. But by the time she made it to the overpass, Mayuri was already gone. Since she was right in front of the station, there were many people around, and it would have been impossible to find her.
なぜ私の前に現れたの。私に声なんてかけなければ傷つかずに済んだのに。私はもう以前の私ではなくなってしまったのよ。
She looked down over the station from the overpass and whispered to herself. And then she saw someone in a distinctive outfit approaching her. They were wearing a black motorcycle suit and black full-faced helmet despite the heat. Oh, God. Alright. She thought it might have been a cosplayer, but instead of trying to take pictures, the people nearby were avoiding them. Given a closer look, the person appeared to be a woman. A closer look! Even Maho could tell that she had incredible proportions. The woman walked under the overpass and vanished from Maho's view. And then she came up the stairs. And she came right towards Maho. Maho quickly looked away like the other pedestrians and tried to run away. But before she could, the woman in the motorcycle suit ran over and wordlessly grabbed her hand. There was a pain in her cheek. She was caught off guard and staggered to the ground. At first, she didn't know what had happened. She rubbed her aching cheek, and only then did she realize that the woman in the motorcycle suit had slapped her. That's kind of interesting. Like, there are two theories. The one is that she's been sent by Stratfor basically just to get Maho under any means necessary, and the slap is because she tried to run away. Or alternatively, we know that it's Kagari in there. So, Maho did just make her adoptive mother cry. So the slap could be for that. Okay, cool. I love it when I go on like a 30 seconds like ramble about what I think is happening, or like my theories, and then it's immediately confirmed in the very next in the very next bit of dialogue. She could hear a muffled female voice from within the helmet. Her voice was very calm, which only terrified Maho more. Instantly right. Because she was wearing a helmet, Maho couldn't read her facial expression. Since the visor was lowered, she couldn't even see her eyes. There was no answer to her question. Instead, the woman looked up to the sky, as if she'd noticed something. Maho looked up too. For a moment, it seemed as if a black shadow crossed the windows of the building. She could hear a helicopter. It was close. How long had it been there? She hadn't noticed it at all. And then she felt the air around her change. The pedestrians were all looking towards the station in fear and shock. She could hear people saying things like, "What's that? Are they filming a TV show? Some kind of cosplay event?" Something was going on at the station. Maho stood up and looked too.
Nani? Are?
She found herself whispering the same thing as the others. There were two trucks. Two trucks. Painted a deep military green, parked outside the station. And what were the trucks doing by any chance? Men were coming out of them dressed in camo and carrying weapons. At first, she thought it might have been the self-defense force, but the men weren't Japanese. It was hard to believe that what she was seeing was taking place in Japan. The men in camo disappeared into the alleyways as everyone watched from a safe distance. They were heading towards the radio building. Maho had heard from Rintaro yesterday that the time machine was there. Oh, fuck. Almost definitely, Maho. That was almost definitely Stratfor. Or Russia? Or perhaps another country's military? Oh, that's right, because, like, Dr. Leskinen is just kind of selling information to everybody, huh? Were they here because Maho had told Leskinen what she'd learned from Rintaro? As soon as the thought crossed her mind, she was hit with another terrible headache. It was all her fault. Everything was her fault. Until a moment ago, everything had seemed so hazy. But now she felt crushed by overwhelming guilt. If Okabe was right and the Third World War was going to begin here in Akihabara, it would be because she gave the information he shared with her to Stratfor. She suddenly realized that the girl who'd threatened to kill her had run down the stairs and towards the station. Maho never did figure out who she was. And then her phone started to vibrate again. It was from Kurisu. She wanted to get away from the guilt, and so this time she picked up the phone.
Senpai! Chris. 大丈夫ですか? 何が? 一体どうしちゃったんですか? どうもしないわ。だって泣いてるじゃないですか。
Only then did she realize that her eyes were overflowing with tears. The fog over her mind was now totally gone, and all that was left was the guilt, The regret and the headaches.
頭が痛いの。
彼の未来は君の手にかかっていると言ってもいい。
Oh boy. Fucking Leskinen! She heard the noise again.
岡部をどうしたんです？岡部さんのことなんてどうでもいいでしょ。殺そうとしてたじゃないですか。私見たんですよ。私のことは放っておいて。そういうわけにはいきません。放っておいてよ。あなたには勝てなかった。私はどれだけやってもクリスにかなわない。ねえクリス、私はあなたのことを尊敬している。私より年下だけど大した科学者だと思うわ。でも心の底ではこう思ってたのよ。どうして私の前に現れたの？どうしてあと10年先に現れてくれなかったの？どうしてあと10年後に現れてくれなかったの？あなたがいなければ私はもっと平凡な日々を送っていたはずなのに、こんな醜い感情になんか支配されずに済んだのにって。私はあなたに常識を破壊されっぱなしなの。死んでまであなたの存在が私につきまとうの。あなたの死を心から悼みたいのにそれができない。越えられない壁としてあなたが立ちはだかり続けていて、プライドと意地が邪魔をしてしまうの。そんなところにつけ込まれて、私は一番信頼していた人にまで裏切られて、私を信頼してくれた友達を裏切ってしまった。もう私頭がぐちゃぐちゃよ。だから放っておいてよ。先輩。
She was getting far too emotional. Normally she'd never behave like this, but she couldn't stop herself. Oh boy. Yeah, that's the start of World War III. She heard an explosion in the distance. The people around her started to scream, panic, and run. The flames from the explosions were coming from the direction the men in the camo had gone. Did they do it? The helicopter sounds were getting louder. Glimpses of their dark, agile bodies had flashed in and out of Maho's vision for a little while now. And then she started to hear loud gunfire. It was more than one or two people shooting. There was a battle going on between many people, taking place here, in front of Akihabara Station. It was like the beginning of a war. Yeah, because it is! If what Rintaro said was true, Suzuha Amane might be near the time machine, and she might be caught up in the battle. She wondered about the woman in the motorcycle suit, too. She started to stagger forward. She still didn't know what she was planning, but she needed to take responsibility for what she'd done. The elevators in the radio building were broken. Maho had no choice but to take the stairs to the roof. But maybe the power had been cut because the lights were off on every floor. She could hear sporadic sounds of gunfire from the floors above. Strangely, nobody came running past her to escape. There were several shops in the building, and of course, there should have been customers there. But despite the fact that the elevators weren't working, had they all evacuated earlier? Or were they all hiding somewhere and waiting for the terror to end? Maho, I don't know how to break this to you. I think they're all dead. That was what she thought about as she sweated her way up the stairs. Just before she reached the roof, she saw someone for the first time. She was sitting on the stairs, cradling her knees. For some reason, her voice was muffled, but it did seem to be a woman's voice. Her head seemed big and round in the darkness. It was a moment before she realized it was a full-face helmet. That was when she realized it was the woman in the motorcycle suit from before. Aw, did YouTube censor your Sonic reference? Why is it doing that now of all times? For, like, multiple years, I've been able to just send whatever messages that I wanted. It didn't matter if they had swear words in it or anything. But now, like, I mean, we saw that during one of your Yakuza streams where I was trying to write, like, chat, kill this guy. And it was like, no, you're not allowed to say that. And then I tried to say, like, chat, throw this man into the sun. And it was like, no, you can't say that either. And it's like, none of the funny euphemisms that I made for, like, chat, kill this guy went through. It's like, okay, I understand if I was talking about a real person. If I was talking about a real person, that'd be fucked up. That's why they call it War Vector, 'cause it's bad. That is this ending in a nutshell. She seemed like a totally different person than the woman she'd met before. All she did was sob and cry for her mother. As if that's what it was censoring, though. Yeah, I guess they were just like, yeah, you're not allowed to talk about war anymore. Don't mind the fact that a lot of the games that people stream are about war. Like, a lot of first-person shooters, that's what they're fucking about. Helmet makes me think of Lego helmets. Ergo, Steins Gate takes place in the Ninjago universe. A perfect Venn diagram of my interests. My interests from 10 years ago and my interests from now coming together. How is Call of Duty existing? I mean, they just keep making new ones. It's like FIFA. How many people buy FIFA? It keeps getting made because it was popular at one point, and now they're like, okay, well, we have to make a new one every year. Although I did hear that the new one that came out was, like, pretty good. I think it's Black Ops 6. That's fucking insane. Saying Black Ops 6 makes me feel older than being told, like, yeah, we're closer to the 2030s than we are to the 2010s. How can they make YouTube videos if they can't mention war? I don't fucking know. This is why I don't play by YouTube's shitty little rules. The algorithm will never pick me up, but that's fine. I don't give a shit. I would much rather be able to say what I actually want to say instead of using, like, stupid little euphemisms and, like, not swear words. I like to be able to curse. It's fun. It's cathartic. Remember watching my cousins play Black Ops 3 in the basement? Black Ops 2 was me and my brother's, like, biggest fucking game when we were younger. I specifically... Proper name sounds like describing a fish flopping around. Cod blops. But yeah, I remember there was one summer, I feel like I've brought this up before. So me and my family used to camp seasonally at, like, a nearby campsite. And one of my brother's friends went to stay for the night. And then he asked if he could stay for another. And then he asked if he could stay for another. And eventually he ended up just staying with us for like a whole week. So it was just me, my brother, and my brother's friend hanging out for a solid week. We went fishing, we played games with the other kids in the campsite, and we played so much fucking Black Ops 2 gun game. We played so much of that. We played so much of that, and we played so much of the zombie mode. Me and my brother already did that anyways, but it is more fun with 3 people. Like, you really can't play gun game 2-person. It's not as much fun. It's like, I tried the zombie mode of Black Ops 3, and it didn't grab me. I don't know what it was about Black Ops 2, where, like, it clicked with me. That's so fun. Campsites as a kid are, like, peak childhood memory. Yeah! It's like, I say childhood. I was, like, 13, 14 at the time. It was both good and bad for me, seasonally camping, because the thing is, at the time, most of my friends, I guess that is childhood. That's like, you're barely a teenager at that point. I feel like 15 is when you really start being like an actual goddamn teenager. 13 and 14, you're just kind of pretending because everyone's telling you that you're a teenager. But yeah, the issue is, whenever I first started camping seasonally, all of my friends were online, and we were all just, like, on this one, like, we were on the Warrior Cats official forums, and the issue is, the campsite did not have internet access, like, at all, and I was at the campsite for the entire summer, and by the time I got back, everyone had stopped using the forum, so I ended up, like, losing all of my closest friends that summer because I just couldn't fucking talk to them. It sucked. And then the next year, I made some new friends, and it was good again. And by that point, the campsite finally got internet, and that's how I learned how to download YouTube videos and pirate anime. Because I would just... So they had, like, a shop at the campsite, and that was, like, the one place that actually had internet. So I would go there with my old-ass Acer laptop, and I would sit there for, like, multiple hours, because it would take, like, a half an hour for, like, 1 hour of video to download to my laptop. And that's if the internet was going quickly. Like, that's if no one else at all was using the internet, including the people working at the store. So I would just sit there for like 3 hours. I would buy a slushie. I would just sit there and wait for my shit to download. Like, I would download so many, like, episodes of, like, Let's Plays. I think I downloaded the entirety of the 2003 Full Metal Alchemist doing that. Oh, man. Makes me wonder if Kiss Anime is still online. It's probably not. Like, there's no fucking way. That site has to have been taken down at this point. The peak Full Metal Alchemist. Okay, 2003, not Brotherhood. I don't actually know, like, a lot of people say the Brotherhood is, like, the way better one. I have no comments on this, because I think I watched the first 14, episodes, and then I did not watch the rest of the 2003 Full Metal Alchemist. It's still around, but the website URL changes all the time. Yeah, that's fair, that's fair. There was a place where I was reading, I think it's, Witch Hat's Atelier. I like 2003, they feel their age for a lot of it. Oh, fair enough. Yeah, that was something I noticed, like, one quote that I think about all the time is, like, what have I ever done to make enemies? Okay, dumb question, but not enough to kill me over. I also did watch the dub. It has to be mentioned, because at the time I pretty much only watched dubs. I like the subs now. It's like, I would watch subs sometimes, if there was no other option, basically. But I think it was also partially because then this way it's like, if my parents overheard me watching anime, it wasn't fucking weird. Or at least it wouldn't be as weird, I guess. Because now that I think about it, like, a lot of dub voice acting is, especially at the time, was not the greatest. It's a lot better now. I also watched the dub of FMA. There are certain shows it just fits. Exactly. It's like, I have a hard time doing it with shows that are very explicitly set in Japan. Those are the ones that I have difficulties with dubs, because to me it's like, okay, well, why are they speaking in English? They're not in an English-speaking country. It just feels more natural for them to be in Japanese. Take it a notch further and watch it in Spanish dubs. Hell yeah. Man. Kind of makes me want to see, like, if I ever got super into an anime, I would love to just watch, like, all the different dub versions and just rank them on a tier list. I feel like that'd be fun. Anyways, we've been sitting here talking about anime and campsites while Kagari is having a breakdown on the stairs and Maho is having her own kind of breakdown. Let's keep reading. Ed's VA is weird now. Every now and then I get one of his YouTube shorts in my feed and it seems culty. I see. Describe how? Like, does he just seem, like, really full of himself? Or is he, like, asking fans to do shit?
ねえ、何が起きているの？ママ、どこ？ママ。ねえ！
She shouted louder, and only then did the woman realize she was there. But she didn't even stand up. The time machine was destroyed.
あなたのママって誰のこと？天音鈴葉さん？違うよ。ママって言ったらまゆりママに決まってるじゃん。
Kagri crying for her mother, the anime girl in her head. Have you considered watching the Spanish dub? Every one of them is him in a robe with coffee talking in a really soft voice, and I think he talks about God a lot. Huh. Interesting. Alright. I see where you're coming from. Yeah, that's fucking weird. Maho's blood ran cold when she heard the name Mayuri.
Mayuri-sanがここに。
If that was true, she would have come here after she learned the truth from Maho.
私のせいだ。
Yeah, it does sound like evangelist nonsense. Chat, I have to be honest. I have trouble pronouncing the word evangelist. Because my brain wants to say Evangelion. I haven't even watched that fucking anime! I've just heard so much about it that now anytime that I see that word, it's like, oh yeah, Evangelion. No. No. Not even close. Evangelist. Maho, wait. Maho put her hands to her head.
私があんなことを言わなければ、まゆりさんは。
God damn it, 100th Assassin. This is a serious scene and we keep breaking the mood! The woman in the motorcycle suit stood up and approached her menacingly.
そうだ。お前が岡部倫太郎から情報を引き出して、それで事態が一気に動き出しちゃったんだ。ママを返してよ。
The girl grabbed her by the collar and lifted her off the ground. There wasn't anything she could say. When she didn't answer, the woman let go and fell to the ground crying. Things would be so much easier if she just killed me here. Her mind was in such chaos that she couldn't stop herself from thinking it. She couldn't stay calm at all. And the last thing she clung to was...
Chris. Senpai.
The AI made from Kurisu Makuse's memory data. Maybe she was still thinking about their last discussion because she seemed upset. Remember the church in Canada that does crucifixion plays, but they make it like pirate the what? Huh? What? Huh? You say remember like this is common knowledge, Val. I don't think it is. I haven't heard of it. What the fuck? What? No! know you seem distressed, but I gotta log in for my dailies on Love Plus. Damn. They film it and put them on. I've never heard of this before! What the fuck do you mean? Okay. Solemn face. Maybe she was still thinking about their last discussion because she seemed upset. She wasn't saying anything. So Maho gave up the last of her pride.
クリス、どうしたらいい？いろいろなことが起こりすぎて、私一人じゃもうどうにもできない。自分のしてしまったことなんだから、せめて責任を取りたいの。
And then she realized that she was still being proud and corrected herself.
私は
She asked herself, what do I want to do?
私は岡部さんを助けたい。まゆりさんも助けたい。二人に謝って許してもらいたい。
We'll have to go. We'll have to do a road trip to go see one. It's in like a totally different province, but we can do it for a bit. Our first vlog! Hell yeah! How would that even fucking work? Would that be our face reveal? Would that have to be our face reveals? Like, collectively? Or would we just wear those, like, fucked up anime masks? I don't know which is funnier. I don't know if I want to do a face reveal ever, I'll be honest. Although, to be honest, if it's for the bit, and if we're going to go see Pirates of the Caribbean Kigurumi anime masks, perfect. Okay, awesome. I mean, hell, we could also just wear, like, you know, like the COVID masks. I have one that would actually work really, really well for that. Like, if it's... I could also wear colored contacts, too. I've been wanting to do that for ages. I've wanted to try colored contacts since I was, like, little. Not little, like a teenager. I haven't wanted to wear colored contacts since I was 6. They're a pair of streamers that green screen their face so that they superimpose their models for the face imposed. It's true, I wear a mask anyways. Hell yeah, we could both have ones that are, like, themed after our channel. We would have time to get them made or whatever. And it would just be for, like, privacy purposes, basically.
それとクリス、あなたのことも助けたいの。
They do the musicals every year, so we got time? Fuck yeah! Alright, we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out at some point.
だから力を貸してお願いよ。先輩が私に助言を求めるなんて。
Kurisu's eyes were wide. That's right. Her pride had kept her from ever asking Kurisu for help before, and it was the same with Kurisu too. And knowing Kurisu's personality, if Maho asked for help, she'd use every bit of brain power she had to give it.
ねえ、教えてちょうだい。あなたなら解決策を提示できるでしょう。
Have you had the chance to go to a full church manger reenactment except they insist on putting a full crucifix into the scene? No. I went to fucking Catholic school. How do you guys know more about these Jesus plays than I do? I'll be honest, there's never been, like, a reenactment of that at any church that I've been to. The most that happened was on... Palm, the day with the palms, like, before Easter. I think it's, like, Palm Tuesday, Palm Wednesday? Or is it before Ash Wednesday? I don't fucking remember church! This is how it goes. They don't teach church at church school. It's true. We had like one religion class and it was just going over like the most basic stories from the Bible that we had already seen in VeggieTales 3 years beforehand. But yeah, it's like the most that we did when on the day with the fucking palm tree leaves. We would all, like, the people closest to the aisles would all get one, and they would have to, like, fan the people who went to go get communion or something. I remember always being really jealous of the people who actually got to do stuff during church. I was also very jealous of the adults that got to sip the funny juice. I was never allowed to drink the funny juice. There was a play burned into my mind where they had kids reenacted for Christmas, but I just fixated on the cross with Jesus. Why did they do that? The time-traveling Jesus corpse. God. Okay, we need to stop talking about Jesus. This is a serious moment in the game, and I'm taking repeated psychic damage. That's why they said Kurisu Makise was a genius. She was a woman who made the impossible possible. Maho waited for Kurisu's answer. The last hope. The last thing left in Pandora's box. She waited for Kurisu to give her the answer. But... Joseph talking to a newly born Jesus. See that? That'll be you in a couple years. Everyone currently talking in this stream is going directly to hell. That church would make a musical about the crucifixion, but it's okay. That is a mental image that I didn't need. Maho was struck dumb for a moment. Then she realized how selfish she was being, and hated herself for it. She'd expected too much of Kurisu and tried to put all the burden on her. And just a few moments ago, she'd been the one who rejected Kurisu.
そうよね。その答えは当然だわ。ごめん。ごめんね、クリス。
You're assuming we aren't here for that reason being... This is it, you do realize that core memory is right there with the Jesus shit. Fair enough, fair enough. Also, hi, Anizaga? Welcome to the stream.
私、あなたにひどいことを言ったのに、あなたが無条件で協力してくれると勝手に思い込んで。
無条件には協力します。
今なんて。
先輩に頼まれたら断ることなんてできませんよ。岡部や椎名真由里さんのことを助けたいのも同じ気持ちです。
でもじゃあ
気持ちとしては協力したいんですが、残念ながら私が協力することで先輩が不利な状況に追い込まれます。
How?
私はストラト4に常に
Oh, that's true. Fuck. Why is my model not working? Just a second. What? Did my webcam stop working? Oh god, we're running into this problem again. Okay, just a second, guys. Just a second. Come on, camera. Do something. Why am I all the way over here? The fuck? Alright, I think that's good. There we go. No idea why that happened again. I feel like it's been a little while since I've had camera troubles. Another scuff streamer too? Yeah, I'm an English VTuber. What were you expecting? Sent you the Jenny Nicholson video about the church play cinematic universe to watch later if you'd like. Hell yes, thank you, Val. It's the Holy Ghost. Yeah, this is the revenge by the Holy Ghost for us talking about Jesus pirate plays.
常に
私が誰かとこうして対話をしている間、ストラト4に無条件で情報が送信されてしまう。
Oh boy. Damn, God is striking down the stream. Yeah, God didn't like that answer. It's like, why are you talking about my son like this?
アマデウスのアプリにはそういう隠し機能があるんです。
Even Maho hadn't known that existed.
だから先輩が岡部を助けに行こうと思ってもレスキネン教授に筒抜けになってしまうんです。
Oof.
じゃあどうすれば。
でも逆にそれを利用して手を打てます。先輩、私を信頼してくれますか？
I mean, as much as we're able to, I guess.
先輩、
あなただけが頼りよ。
ありがとうございます。ちなみにこの対話内容もバッチリ盗み聞きされてるはずです。
I mean, yeah, she did just tell you this.
そんな。じゃあもしあなたが私に協力するのがバレたら。
パターンとしては3つ。サーバーからデータを移動させて隔離状態にされるか、または古いバージョンの記憶データで上書きされてしまうか。最悪の場合には私という存在そのものを消されるかもしれませんね。
そんな。
大丈夫です。あなたは必ず自分で立ち上がれる人だから。
私のことなんかどうでもいいわ。あなたの心配をしているのよ。
私はただのデータですよ。でもありがとうございます。
The Kurisu on the screen bowed and smiled.
私は真帆先輩と一緒に研究できたことを誇りに思います。
何よ、その根性の別れみたいな言い方。やめなさいよ。
I mean, it's very fucking likely, considering what's happening on Kurisu's end, and also the fact that you... there's fucking explosions happening, Maho!
もう会えないかもしれませんから。
私はあなたのことが嫌いよ。そうやっていつだって私を置いて先に行ってしまうのだから。
But that's who Kurisu Makise was. When Maho had asked her for help, both she and Kurisu should have been prepared. That's why.
いつか必ず私はあなたに追いついてやるわ。
If you try to investigate any explosions, I guarantee it's gonna be a blast. Ha! But
それどころか追い越してやるから。それまで待ってなさい。
はい。
Kurisu smiled once more and disappeared from the screen. Maho wiped away her tears and thwapped the crying girl next to her on the helmet. There's better ways to catch her attention.
あなたはまゆりさんを助けたいんでしょ。だったら私に協力して。協力？まず岡部さんを助けるわ。彼なら今の事態を何とかする方法を提示してくれるはず。
Oh my god, wait a second. So in the other timeline, Okabe time jumped into the future and was in, like, his body after it had been tortured. Are these two gonna team up and they're the ones who find his body and bring him to, like, future Daru and Suzuha and everyone? Time to break it all down! Welcome to the stream life!
知ってるの。空と層のアジトがどこにあるのか。私は知らない。
私だって知らないわ。
But Maho grabbed the girl by the hand and helped her up, then raced down the stairs.
知らないけど、すぐに私の可愛い後輩が調べて教えてくれる。
She told me to believe in her. Kurisu Makise wouldn't betray me. Oh. I know, have you done the true ending yet, or are you working towards it? Yeah, I'm going through all of the endings before I go for the true end. Similar to how I did for the first Steins Gate. Admittedly, back then the bad ends were a lot shorter, like I was doing 2 a video, and now it's been like, what, 3 streams that we've been on the bad end timeline? But from what I read on the guide, there's basically like 2 main timelines, so we're just kind of seeing one of the 2. Like, I got the first ending that I got, which, if I remember correctly, it was the Kagari ending. And then this time for, I'm trying to get the bad ending, and that's probably in like a different timeline, basically. Because like this one, Kagari didn't show up as a character until she fought Suzuha, basically. So, very, very different. As soon as she left the radio building, she got a message on her Rhine. The gunfire was continuing. As she hurried away, she looked down at her phone. Okabe is in the basement of Tokyo Denki. I just learned this now. Followed their monitoring to find their location. Take care of Okabe for me. Teach that damn pervert of a professor what happens to peeping toms who watch me all the time. When she read it, she smiled despite everything that was going on. Time travel is suffering. And yeah, whoa, Kia. I commented on that earlier.
Chris. ありがとう。
She clutched the phone tightly to her chest, but then she quickly changed gears.
ストラト4のアジトがどこか分かったわ。
教えて。乗り込んで。物暮らしにしている。
Maho shivered at the ice in her words. She felt a bottomless madness coming from the woman in the motorcycle suit. But for now, she had to cooperate with her. There was no way she could get Rintaro back from Maho? I think that meant back from Stratfor. That's what makes sense. On her own. Typo in the visual novel, get their ass. She needed to take responsibility for the future she'd created. To avoid that cruel future. Maho ran through the streets of Akihabara, where a war was already beginning. Maybe 4 instead of from. Oh, back to this guy! A voice. I could hear a voice. Someone was calling my name. I slowly woke up and turned towards the voice. Maho was standing in the darkness. She had a smile on her face that was somehow lonely and somehow sad. He said the name. Roll credits.
まゆりさんも鈴葉さんも行方不明なの。私とかがりさんがあなたを助けるためにストラト4のアジトに行ったんだけど、かがりさんはそこで亡くなったわ。
Well, fuck.
何人かを道連れにしてね。デスキネル教授にだけは逃げられてしまった。
Of course the bastard lives.
アマデウスも消されてしまった。こんなのってないわよね。でも今希望はあなただけなの。お願い、あなた一人に託すなんてひどいと思うけれど。
Yeah, especially considering that he's almost definitely been through torture by this point. Like, it was already over a day whenever Maho spoke to Mayuri since he'd been captured, so like, man's already been through some shit. This is a lot to just throw on him all at once.
シュタインズゲートに必ずたどり着いて。それじゃあね、岡部さん。さよなら。
平城さん。
Okay. I woke up on top of blankets laid out on the floor of a hospital. The rooms and even the halls outside were overflowing with wounded people. There weren't enough beds, so there were blankets placed on the floor. Where was I? I thought I was back to the other world line with the war. But I wasn't. According to the news on the TV, there had been a terror attack in Akihabara. A special forces group from another country had gone on a rampage, and it was like something out of a war. The incident had come to an end, and the mystery special forces unit disappeared, but many were dead or wounded after the battle. I didn't really remember how I got here. The last thing I remembered was being locked up and horribly tortured by Leskinen. My whole body ached, in fact.
それじゃあね、岡部さん。さよなら。
And then I remembered what Maho had said to me in that dream. Was that real? Maho had saved me? And had she mentioned Kagari? I patted down my pockets and found my phone was still there. Genuinely kind of surprised. I tried to call Mayuri. If that dream was real, Mayuri was missing. But that was impossible. I'd chosen this world line so that Mayuri would survive. If nothing else, it was guaranteed that she'd make it to 2036. She couldn't die today in 2011. But no matter how many times I called, she didn't pick up. I forced myself to stand up and leave the hospital room. I went out to the roof. It seemed I was at Ochanomizu Hospital, where Fubuki had stayed before. The morning sky was amazingly clear. I could see Akihabara in the far distance. There were pillars of smoke rising up. I shivered at the strange sight. Even from here I could tell how fierce the battle must have been. The world's history was proceeding as John Titor had prophesized. I tried calling Mayuri again from the roof, but nobody picked up. My next move was to call Daru out of desperation.
もしもし、おかりん。よかった。 生きてた。
お前こそよく無事だったな。
ラボの近くは案外静かだったんで。
今どこだ？
逃亡中、秋葉からは脱出したよ。
そうか。
フェイリスタンとルカシとは連絡取れた。二人とも避難したってさ。なあオカリン、鈴葉とマユシが連絡つかないんだ。昨日の事件でタイムマシンも跡形もなく壊されちゃったし、鈴葉の語った未来よりも世界の動きがずっと早いよ。
So it wasn't a dream after all. While I was unconscious, she said her goodbye.
なあ、誰？俺はさ、普通に生きることすら許されないのかな。
Help, Cat keeps trying to sit on phone to silence the stream. Tell it to stop! Honestly, I'm surprised that Vesta hasn't interrupted the stream more, because the entire time I was setting up, she was yelling at me. I got so distracted just now because I just noticed one of my Steam friends is playing Psychonauts, and I was like, fuck yeah! One of my favorite games. I'll play it someday.
こうなることは覚悟してたさ。シュタインズゲートではなく、第三次世界大戦が訪れる世界線を選んだのは俺なんだ。
Papa and I slept for hours today. Yeah, you have to do that sometimes. I've been taking a lot of naps with Vesta on weekends. Mostly just to kind of apologize to her for, always being either at work or doing other stuff. Biggest Earthbound fan, excited to play it for the first time. That's how I feel about Psychonauts. I've watched like 3 different playthroughs of like both of the games. He gets under my blanket and hugs me. That's so cute!
だからって俺が生き残ってみんないなくなるなんて。
Yeah, that fucking sucks. Also, now that I'm talking about Vesta, she is here. She is here. I hope she doesn't yell too much, and I hope she doesn't block the screen in such a crucial moment.
こんなのあんまりだろ。
Were the laws of God never going to forgive me, no matter what? Was it that much of a sin to escape the wheel of fate? If it was, then why not just curse me? Buddy, judging by the trajectory your life has taken, I think you already are cursed.
僕はタイムマシン作るよ。
Beats my cat that just does the lonely meow every 2 seconds, just outside of grappling range.
作るしかないだろう。これで終わりにできるかよ。オカリンはどうする？
The smoke was still rising over Akihabara. I stared at it in shock.
俺
The tears welled up. I fell to the ground. I didn't have the strength to stand up. I couldn't answer Daru's question. No matter how hard you try, no matter how much you work to change things, everything converges back to the way God wants it. You're wasting your time struggling against it, Daru. I'm so tired. I need to sleep a little. There's still a few years before the Third World War really begins. And there's 14 years before I die. I'll live my life averting my eyes from reality, and not wasting my time with a fight that can't be won. That's the only end that's fitting for a person like me. I'm sorry, Maho. I'm sorry, Mayuri. I'm sorry, Kurisu. Forgive me for giving up here. God damn. Alright, well, yes, that definitely was a fucking bad ending, huh? Jeez. It's like, I remember being surprised when I looked at the guide on how to get all the different endings. And it was like, all the other ones had character names attached, and this one is just the bad ending. I understand now. I get it. I fucking get it. That's why they call it a bad ending, Vector. 'Cause it's bad. We've gone full circle. Why is Big Rigs Over the Road Racing on Steam? What? I don't know what that is. Oh wait, is that one really bad truck game where you can just go, like, at infinite speed as long as you're in reverse? You know, I think my brother actually had a computer game that was similar to that when we were kids. And I think it's actually the thing that made my dad go, hey, computer games are fucking stupid. Because no matter what we did, it would never work. That truck game would never work on our computer. And I think that's what convinced my dad that computer games fucking suck. Outside of Command & Conquer. He played the shit out of Command & Conquer. It's the infinite reverse speed game. Awesome. You got the quote wrong. What? Both times? Thank you, Science Adventure Team, for making the ending where everything sucks. Knuckles says, none of this is good, Vector. That's why it's called war. Honestly, both... Oh. Oh, okay. It's been long enough that I forget if that happened in the last timeline as well. Okay, well, I cleared Gehenna's Stigma. Cool. Alright, well, to be honest, I feel like we don't have enough time to get too far into any of the other endings. So we'll just go to the just chatting screen for a little bit. I'm gonna close the game. I beat the game! The worst possible ending, but I still beat the game! Although we still have a bunch of endings to go. I actually don't even have the endings guide up. Let me just see. Steins Gate 0, how to get all endings. Okay, so we got... Yes, so we got Gehenna Stigma, and we got Recursive Mother Goose. I think? Or no. Wait. What fucking other ending did we get? I'm pretty sure it was Recursive Mother Goose. Or... I don't fucking remember. Ah! The pain of being a streamer and having a shit memory. Ending on a high note. I mean, to be fair, we did kind of goof off at the very end and start talking about fucking Jesus plays and cats. So, like... You know, I would say the mood is still fairly light, despite it all. But yeah, as mentioned, this is going to be my last weekday stream for a bit. Work is picking up for the season. Or at least it will be soon. And I've got like 2 weeks left of my 3-month probation. 3-week probation? The hell? We need a palate cleanser. Okay, let me see if I can put a funny video on screen. Let me see. I gotta add a new source. VLC video source. The hell? I'm just gonna do a media source. What? Why Why do I have Big Bill... Big Bill Hells? Oh, I know what the fuck that is. Okay, never mind. We're not playing that one. That one's for, that one's for special occasions. Boo Boo Keys. I'm calling this one Boo Boo Keys. Let me see. I'm gonna find, I'm gonna go into my videos and I'm gonna find one. Here.
Behold!
How is this?
1,000 cereals. I collect cereals. It took me 9 years to collect the cereals.
I can't hear it.
Cereals. Good.
Congratulations!
Shut up! Sus! Fuck Steven Universe!
Okay, was that fun? Was that good? I would love to see a Novella Balatro stream. Oh boy. All I know about that game is that it's crazy seeing a YouTube poop in 2025 could not be me. I watch those shits all the time. I have... You're in a fever dream. Yes, yes. The streams are just like this. Welcome. I highly recommend you check out the VOD for the Sims 3 murder stream that happened a few years back. But yeah, at some point, I do want to do a special stream that involves watching YouTube poops inside of a video game. I'll leave it at that. It will be a challenge stream and probably some kind of marathon. So, I gotta wait until I know that I have both the time and energy for that. But it will happen someday. I have it in my brain. And it's either gonna be a really, really good stream, or it's gonna suck shit. YTP is why I can't old man yell at Zoomer humor. Yeah, same. It's like I can't be mad about Skibbity Toilet whenever my vocabulary has been so influenced by YouTube poops. Fucking Peter the Park Ranger lives rent-free in my head. Same with... What fucking stream was it where I just put on Be a Fool About Fire Safety, which is like a 10-minute long YouTube poop that's just about fucking fire safety? I just, it's like, if you know where on the internet to look, you can still find good YouTube poops. I really should add, like, a playlist to this channel that's just that. As mentioned previously in the stream, I do not take this shit seriously. I'm just here to play video games for people because otherwise, I don't play them. This is to force myself to actually finish games. Anyways, I'm just rambling at this point. I'm just stretching out the stream for no reason. But, very interesting bad end. It didn't really end the way that I was expecting it to, because my big theory up until this point, like from previous streams, was that we're kind of putting the pieces together for the good ending of the first Steins Gate. And my theory was, okay, this timeline is how Okabe's tortured body ends up in 2036, so that this way he can time travel forward into it, get the information from Daru and Suzuha, and then come back with increased resolve to change things. Like, I figured that this was gonna be, okay, we're doing a stepping stone towards the good ending. But the fact that it just ended with him on the roof, it's like, I guess he did kind of just give up. Which means that Stratfor could easily just find him again. But it does make me wonder if maybe I'm a little bit off in my theory. I mean, I almost definitely am. I'm kind of just talking out of my ass. But, you know, whatever. But yeah, I'm not actually sure what we're playing this Sunday. I have not asked Val if we're doing Disco yet. If we are, then we're going to be doing Disco Elysium. If we're not, then it's going to be more Steins Gate, and we can see the next ending. I think, depending on which one I've already gone for, I feel like sticking with the ones where I don't turn my phone off would be for the best. Oh yeah, because if we go back to Pandora's box in front of Daru, all we have to do is ignore the call from Amadeus, and we're good. So, yeah. You're down? Hell yeah. But yeah, that's how it's gonna be for a bit. It's like whenever Val is available to do Disco, we'll do Disco. when she is not, we'll be doing more Steins Gate. And yeah, like I said, we're going to be going with the Mayuri ending next time. So if you're new around here and you want to see that, hit the subscribe button and hit the funny little bell and you'll be notified whenever I go live. If you want to know if I'm canceling a stream last minute, if plans have changed, if I'm streaming with a different friend or with any other friend and I'm not streaming on my channel, those will all be up on my Blue Sky. It says Twitter. I keep meaning to change it. I've said this like 3 times now, if not more. I'm only on Blue Sky now. I did not like Twitter notifications. So, here we are. But yeah, also you'll get to see pictures of my cat and also shitposts. So, yeah, if you're interested in that, follow me there. And, I think that's just about everything. So have a good night, everybody. Sweet dreams. Try not to get tortured. And I will see you next time. Bye-bye!